Okay, well, let's get started then. Okay, so these notes are just about polynomials, how to combine like terms, multiply, add, subtract polynomials. And the reason we do this is because once we start getting into chapter 2, we're going to come across profit, revenue, and cost functions. And the formula to make a profit function is the revenue function minus cost. So you would take the revenue function, subtract cost, and you would be subtracting two polynomials. So this is what we're doing today. For these notes, we're going to practice just combining like terms on polynomials. So for our first problem, you have 36x squared plus x minus 7 plus 28x squared minus 5x minus 6. Okay, so here we can drop the parentheses. I'll just rewrite everything. 36x squared plus x minus 7 plus 28x squared minus 5x minus 6. And now all we have to do is combine like terms. So we'll start with the highest power first. I have 36x squared and I have 28x squared. So we'll add those two up, and 36 and 28 should get me to what? I think 64 x squared. And then we go for the next x terms. I have a positive x here and a negative 5x there. So that's going to give me negative 4x. And then the last one, I have negative 7 and negative 6. So that's going to give me negative 13. And that's all we're doing here, is just combining like terms. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, let's try it again. So in the example below, this time we can't drop the parentheses on the second one because now we have to take this negative and distribute it to both of these terms. So the first terms we can rewrite without the parentheses, negative 4x squared plus 642x. But now we're going to distribute the negative, and I'm going to get negative 215x minus 16,890. There we go. Okay. And again, all we have to do here after we distribute the negative is we're going to combine like terms. So there are no other x squareds around. So that's what we'll start off with. And then we look for the x terms. I have 642 minus 215. 642 minus 215. And that'll give me 427x. And the last number left is just the constant by itself. So this will give me negative 16,890. And there's our answer. Okay. Okay. Any questions on that one? And can you guys hear me okay? I know Joe said he can't, but can everybody else hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. And again, if you just joined, here are the notes we're doing. I'll post them again in the chat. Polynomial notes. There you go. Okay, cool. All right, let's do it again. So for C, again, now we have to take this negative and again, just distribute it to both of those terms. So the first terms, we can drop the parentheses. And then in the next one, we distribute that negative. So I get negative 3,682x minus 253,714. So we distribute the negative, and now we can combine like terms. All right, once again, there's no other x squared, so that 15x squared will come down, negative 15x squared. And then I look at my x's, 8,574 minus 3,682. And I get 4,892x, and there's no other constants, so that number will just come down, minus 253,714. There we go. And again, this is just practicing combining like terms, which is going to help us set up for creating a profit function later on in this class when we get there. Okay, that's it for this page. Any questions on these three? Okay. All right. And now the next page is we're just multiplying polynomials together, and this will help us set up a revenue function later on. Revenue is always given by a price times a quantity. So whenever you set up a revenue function, you will be multiplying polynomials. So this page is just giving us practice in multiplying, distributing polynomials. So let's get started. Okay, so 2x times 5x minus 3. So all we have to do is take this 2x and distribute it to both terms. So 2x times 5x gives me 10x squared. And 2x times negative 3 gives me negative 6x. And that's it. Nothing else to do in there. Okay. Next one. 4x minus 3 times 2x plus 5. So we want to multiply these two binomials, but when you're multiplying two binomials, we have to use the FOIL method. So when we multiply these, you're going to do the first terms times each other, right? So that's the F part. So 4x times 2x is going to give me 8x squared. And then you're going to do the first term times the last term. That's the O. So 4x times 5 gives me positive 20x. And then now you're going to do the inners, negative 3 times 2x. That's the I. And that'll give me negative 3 times 2x, which gives me negative 6x. And then you can do the last terms, which is negative 3 times 5, which will give me negative 15. So there's your FOIL method. First, outer, inner, last. And then you just combine like terms. So for this one, the 8x squared comes down, and then 20x minus 6x gives me 14x minus 15. There we go. Okay. Any questions on those two so far? Okay. C, x plus 3 squared. And in order to distribute this, to multiply this, we have to expand it. So x plus 3 squared just means I have 2x plus 3's. I have an x plus 3 times x plus 3. That's what x plus 3 squared means. And now, to multiply these, we once again will FOIL. So I'll have x times x, which gives me x squared, x times 3, which gives me 3x, 3 times x, which gives me 3x, and 3 times 3, which gives me 9. So once again, x times x, x times 3, 3 times x, and then 3 times 3. Combine like terms, and we'll get x squared plus 6x plus 9. There we go. Okay. All right. A minus b squared. So just like above, we must expand before we FOIL. So a minus b means a minus b times a minus b. So we get 2 a minus b's. And once again, we will now FOIL. A times a squared, minus a times b, a times negative b, which will give me negative a b, and then negative b times a gives me negative ba or ab, does not matter how you write it. And then last, negative b times negative b gives me positive b squared. Okay. Combine like terms, and we'll get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. All right. Cool. All right. Everybody good on these so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Last one then. Okay. So a minus b times a plus b. So we have the two binomials. So we'll FOIL again. So a times a squared. A times b plus a b. Negative b times a, negative ba, or negative ab. And then negative b times b, negative b squared. Combine like terms, and your ab's will cancel. So this leaves you with a squared minus b squared. Okay. And that's it for polynomial notes, which means we can jump into our factoring notes. But any questions on these notes? Everybody good with this?